in the United Kingdom to the west coast of Orange County, California. From a Pacific perspective to the Atlantic perspective. From liberal craziness to conservative idealism. From Christianity to atheism belief systems. Welcome to the TheGrayZone Roundtable with Rectify and Wingmen at Revolution Radio, freedomslips.com.
Revolution-radio.com.
Welcome to the Gray Zone. This is Rectify here on Revolution Radio at freedomslips.com. Once again, I do not have a wingman with me, but I have something better. I have a wing woman. I am joined tonight by Miss Angela Black.
What?
She's back. What's going on, Angela? Happy Monday.
Thank you. It's also Blue Spectral Monkey Day, at least for us. I guess it's Tuesday elsewhere on the planet.
Yes, it is. The 29th on most realms here on terra firma.
Nice, Bigfoot.
On the 28th for another 45 minutes or so.
Yeah, right on. Yeah, so it's Blue Spectral Monkey Day, my galactic signature, so I'm very excited about that. You know, I feel special. And I'm just glad that my cats are inside, at least the remaining two, as there were like 20 coyotes outside, according to the neighbors, just a few short moments ago.
Were they howling it up like they've got some? They got
Potty.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they got they got one of our cats about 2 months ago, about 9 weeks ago, something like that. It was really sad. So I think it's the same group, you know. And I mean, he escaped. It was when I was really sick, and so he just kind of escaped because my guard was down. And so anyway, I'm just glad the cats are in. And thanks for having me, man. I mean, it's so weird to be back on air, and I couldn't think of a nicer guy.
It's awesome. Steve Travesty. Let's join the call. Sorry about no doorbell. I'm running off a new main board, new sound system. The Skype upgrade, I believe, crashed and blew up a bunch of capacitors on my main board the other night. So I don't know about if that problem's going to affect me. I just hit add to group, and I still see the server. So, Steve, as far as you can tell, are we still good?
Yeah, I was hearing you guys, and then I wanted to hop on in. There's no issues going on.
Sweet, brother. How you doing?
Good.
Hey there, Travesty.
Hi.
Well, since we have no issues, let me give out the number. We're going to get this party on the road. 347-688-2902. It's 347-688-2902. And you can get on the air with Angela Black, Steve Travesty, and myself, Rectify.
Angela, you know, on Friday, I think it was on Friday, you were mentioned on Strange Universe. Were you listening, or did you part?
I was not. No, I was not.
We found out what was going on between you. We found out what was going on with you and Sean David Morton, and we had to exploit it on the air.
What are you talking about?
Here. This is exactly what I'm talking about.
Hang on to something, because this ride's about to get rougher than dating a hot girl with a bad laugh. I really like you, Sandy.
I really like you too, Peter.
Yeah? You like it when I kiss you here?
Yeah.
How about here?
Oh, stop, I'm
We were.
Is that supposed to be like a moniker for laughter?
No. Angela, we all know how you laugh, and that's very close to how...
Like that.
You've got Peter Griffin, the big fat funny man, giving the girl with the deep laugh a kiss, and she starts laughing like that. It's you and Peter. It's you and Sean, and it was hysterical. We played it on the air.
Wow, I wish I would have caught that. You know, I was back from my short trip, so I'm sorry I missed that. I'll have to check out the archive.
Yeah, you'll have to check out the archive. It was a lot of fun.
Well, thanks for playing that for me.
You got it.
We have Keith from Arizona on the line. How you doing, sir?
Hey, Rectify. How are you doing, my friend?
Hey, I'm still breathing, man. I'll be here until my last breath.
We love you, brother.
I love you too, man. I love everybody at this place. But yeah, what's on your mind, man? Does Angela's laughter sound like Peter Griffith?
Well, I actually just tuned in, but I want to say hi, Angela, and hi, Steve. How you guys all doing?
Doing
Good.
fine. Hi, Q.
Happy Monday, dude.
Absolutely.
You had a great show. I actually caught a big part of it last week, and well, I should say this week. I don't know, the last 7 days. But great show, man. You had my ears perked the whole time.
Well, it was incredible, and I can only thank Stephen D. Kelly. I had very little to do with it other than creating the venue.
Production's a big part of it all.
Yes, it is, and I personally thought it was incredible. To be honest with you, I'm feeling much more of a sense of chemistry with Stephen D. Kelly, and appreciating him more and more. As you, sir, Stephen Travesty.
Yes.
And Angela, honestly, I don't know you that well. I have not heard that much of your work, but what I have heard, I've thought it was very impressive.
Well, thank you. I've been gone for about 2 months from the station. I have these weird stints of time where I'm a host on the station. It usually lasts about 4 months, and then I tend to burn out, because I'll do 4 days a week or something like that. And I was up to 2 hours a day, 4 days a week, and it was a little much, So I tend to jump out. So I guess our time schedules have not necessarily connected when I am on air. But thank you for the compliment. And I haven't heard your show yet either. And I have seen you around though in chat. So.
Well, what I do is I do one show one week, 1 day a week, but it's for 4 hours, and it's lots of fun. Steve has been on it. Rectify, I don't recall if you have. Have you ever joined Ground Control?
I don't think I've been on with Major Tom before, but I think it was just a roundtable.
Yeah, I transformed the format because I wanted to do a more structured show and have guests on.
Which you're very good at, man, so keep at it.
Well, thank you for that. That's very kind of you.
Me, I become an entry in a person's spam folder if I try to send emails to get somebody on a show, so I'm just a roundtable guy.
Getting guests on is very difficult. Some guests, it took me 6 weeks to get Steven Swerdlow on.
Yeah,
or Stewart, I mean.
We heard that.
Oh, we've been joined by Miss Dorriebar. How's it going?
Hi, Dory.
I'm like, Angela Black. Hi, babe. I'm like, Angela Black's on? Oh, hell yeah. Hi, Steve. Hi, Angela. I rectify.
I brought bait, everybody.
I know. You know when Angela's on, we're like, yeah, hell yeah. I'm calling in for 15 people. Do I want to get in on this?
So, I'm bait to you?
You know it.
Best in the world.
That was excellent. Whatever you did, that commercial, whatever you guys did, that little bumper, that was excellent. That's so you, though, with that laugh. That was like Elmer Fudd. That was so you. Yeah. That was awesome. It was awesome. I'm still laughing and crying at the same time, but that was cool.
Elmer Fudd?
Well, you know when Elmer Fudd would talk? She's like, she did it. I can't do it. Yeah.
Where is that rascally wabbit?
Yeah, she did it like priceless. She really did.
Hunting wabbits.
Hunting wabbits.
Wabbits.
No,
wabbits.
Yeah,
see her voice?
Not rabbits. Wabbits.
And she could sing. She's got her she all together.
Hey, you're going to attract a Hyro in here if you even mention it.
You know it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, don't mention that song, please. You know he's coming on any minute. He's awake now. It's like 8 o'clock in the morning there, I think, or 9 a.m.
Yeah, so no wingman again. How about that? He likes to leave me hanging and worrying and praying, and yeah, I guess it's revenge for all my health issues.
Come on, you give all of us. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, no, I am not complaining. I mean, this is going to be party time on a Monday night, and Monday's over now, so big middle finger in the sky of Monday, and we're moving on.
It is not It is not over. It's still Monday.
Well, not to
here.
us, it's still Monday. Yeah, we have 45 minutes left, but the UK doesn't, since Barrios had just called me on that one. We're in his future. Or he's in our future, I should say, yeah.
We're in his
past.
So there's a new game that these stupid kids are playing. It's a Facebook fad. You guys seen, the cinnamon, the cinnamon challenge where you put a spoonful of cinnamon in your mouth and try to hold on to it, and they end up inhaling it, and it burns the hell out of them. But there's a new one. It's called the Fire Challenge. And this is how dumbed down these kids are getting. This is Lexington, Kentucky. Sorry, Hawk. 15-year-old in Kentucky suffered second-degree burns after rubbing alcohol on his chest and lighting himself on fire in imitation of a popular Facebook and YouTube fire challenge videos. Lexington police said the officers were called to the 3600 block of Appian Way to assist a teenager who had burned himself after watching the fire challenge videos online. The teen, whose name was not given, mimicked the online videos by pouring rubbing alcohol on his body and then setting himself on fire. Unbearable, yeah, basically, he said, who suffered second-degree burns. Literally, after I got it put out, it was already blistering. It's just hard. What a derp. Anyways, yeah. I mean, and then the second craziest one I've read about was butt chugging. These kids are going to high school drunk, but they're not putting it in through their mouth's orifice, if you know what I mean.
Oh, yeah.
They're standing on
I heard about that for the female things as well, where they soak them in vodka. Yeah.
Seriously.
Yes, they're
Is that bored or what?
Feminine products and alcohol and inserting, yes.
Maybe we don't need to go there so much.
Well, it's just so, it's undetected on the breath. And it's dangerous.
Well, I think it's, as odd as it is to bring up, I think it's an important topic because it basically shows, the mentality of many of the youth. I mean, it's freaky. That's freaky. Right. That's freaky. You know what? You know what I mean? It's not positive, obviously. And I mean, even though it sounds like fodder for the show, it's really actually an important issue, I think. I mean, that's
like
terrible.
The Twitter gang stock, like when everybody tweets that let's go to Circle K or 7-Eleven, a group of 30 of us and just rob the shelves and run out all at once. It's just a mention of the technology and the mindset of where these children are at, as far as their development being interconnected with technology.
Also, there are good things happening as well. There's
there you go.
Beautiful people doing very good things right now. I actually have optimism towards the future. I know many don't, but that's just where I'm coming from.
That's why you're here, man. It's the gray zone. We don't have black or white.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm not judging. I'm just saying.
I mentioned on a previous show that there's three things. You know how David Letterman has the top 10? Mm-hmm. Well, I'm going to give you my top 3, okay? The first one is that we throw off the yoke of usury banking collectively, meaning that all of us educate each other and say, guess what? We don't need to be parasited by this banking system. Okay, so yeah, that's done. Figure that and figure you got 10 times more money than you used to. Number one. Number two is to release the free energy technology. If we could get that going, that's transformative in a way that's astounding. Again, that's going to make all of us richer, and it's going to make life so much more fun. Number three is cannabis.
I think we need to start smaller, like getting grocery stores to stop throwing food out. And
well, let me
to the homeless.
Let me just quickly finish. Number three is cannabis. For its health benefits, primarily, if people want to smoke it or recreationally, get high, I don't have a problem with that. I'm just saying that's not the best use of it. It has so many medical benefits and so many other benefits. It makes stronger concrete. I mean, you can go on and on about that. So that's just my top three.
Right, before free energy is going to be released, though, I mean, that is like the biggest chains around all of our necks of control. It's not going to happen. The elite use it all the time.
They're not done raping the earth yet.
No, not at all. Not at all. And that's going to be, it's going to happen, but what it's going to it's going to happen during the Grand Deception. That short period of time that the Greek always mentions where we're going to have that golden age, but only for a few years. That's when that's going to come out.
Rectify, you cannot say that it's not going to happen. We don't know.
No, I just said it is, but it's going to be during the Grand Deception.
Yeah, but you're quantifying it. I can't do that. You may be totally right. I don't know. I'm not going to say you're wrong. I'm just saying I don't know, and I'm holding the opening that it may happen. As we speak, it might be flooding on the internet right now, for all we know.
Yeah, I mean, there's little things. I mean, we have Ralph's and Kroger's and all these stores that fill their trash bins up with perfectly good food still, because they don't want to get sued. Before
it's
free
the same
energy.
with medical supplies, I mean, they have these perfectly good, sanitized, still wrapped medical supplies, but as soon as the hospitals or whomever need to update, because, I don't know, their budget says so or something like that, they literally throw these perfectly good,
it's tax time. It's a write-off.
Supplies out. Yeah, it's terrible. It's terrible, that they throw out the food and they throw out all these wonderful, usable items that could really help a lot of people in society. Yeah.
Like how many people out there take their old bread and throw it in a paper bag, throw it on top of the fridge, let it turn into hardness, and then throw it in your blender or whatever and make your own breadcrumbs. I mean, it's little things that's going to change. We don't even care about the little things. We'll sit here all day long and talk about the huge things. Okay, say we're handed a silver platter, with free energy on it. We are so reckless and irresponsible because we're not even showing that we can do the little things. That would just become a disaster. It would be weaponized worse than the powers that be have weaponized that energy.
No, Ryan, I've got to totally give you my opinion, which is a little different.
If you could stick to my stage name, that'd be great.
Rectify. Is that better?
That would be the one.
Okay, Rectify. Let me just say, I have a different opinion, and it's merely an opinion. I don't know. I'm not telling you I'm right or you're wrong. I'm not making a judgment. I'm just saying, if things were easier, I think people would be nicer to each other. I think there is a controlling factor, and that's why the first part of my list was the throw off the yoke of usury banking. That's just my thoughts on it.
You can't even give a prisoner a toothbrush without expecting a shank to come out of it. I mean, and you want to give someone unlimited power, 0-point energy?
Yeah, but that's because they're a prisoner. They're in the environment of a prison.
They're just
so are we.
It's prison. We're in an open one.
That's part of my point. That's part of my point here. I'm gonna interject here. And look, why is there why in Saudi Arabia is Islam not violent, but in Afghanistan it appears to be violent? Well, gosh, look at how much money and infrastructure that they have between the two. There's a better quality of living, and when you have a better quality of living, you're less pissed off. That's the truth. All right? These people are pissed off because they've been robbed and they've been incarcerated in their own homes. And that puts a tremendous amount of pressure on people. That pressure needs to be released first. They need to have the ability to feel like they can breathe, and they don't have, because, like for instance, over in Israel, a perfect example with the Gaza Strip and all of Palestine as it's been increasingly squeezed by West Bank development and other such things. They feel the presence of Israel stealing more land than what was originally agreed to when the United Nations invented that nation, and they were so generous as to say, sure, we'll share our land with you, or at least they tolerated as much as what was done based on various global circumstances. So all of that hatred that has turned them into what they are and has made Hamas the entity that it is entirely based on how this other population has come in to turn them into a prison ghetto, and thus turning them into that.
Isn't it ironic that the Israelis have turned into what basically the Nazis were? I mean, it's almost exactly the same. I mean, Gaza's basically an Auschwitz. It's getting there. It's not much difference. It's just bigger.
Right, and I'm sincerely hoping, that the Greek is right. And looking at the social trends, I think that he's going to be dead on. And I think, this is going to come to an end in a short period of time. These current issues with Gaza doing what it's going to do, and then the third thing is going to happen that's going to put the sanctions on.
So you think Israelis and Palestinians are going to be babysitting each other's kids again shortly? Because they used to.
Look, the youth culture, I've been constantly seeing this for years now, from looking at things on the internet that get suppressed. An Israeli kid and a Palestinian kid, they don't hate each other at all. They don't want to hate each other. They see this conflict as their parents' conflict. Do you understand?
I hear you. But I'm also thinking of the visuals of all these, kids that are in certain types of war training facilities, etc. That, I'm sure that may not be the majority of youngsters, but these kids are kind of trained to hate each other, are they not?
They want to train them to hate each other, but look, there's a lot of Western influence in a lot of places, and there's a lot of things that comes with the territory of Western influence, because there's a certain identity to things that are very similar to the attitudes and the mentalities that even we express.
Yeah, I would make a comment as well, Steve, to support what you're saying. I think there's a lot of awakened souls coming in as well, and they're not buying the programming they're given.
Oh yeah, there's that too. There's the whole starseed thing, which is part of the of why we have the Earth population the way that it is right now. But I also think that we probably there's a lot of good things that we can cover without going down that route right now, because we could be discussing things that are very tangible. Because we can't sit there and talk about, the politics of the matter is that there's that all of these Palestinians are actually Andromedans, and the Andromedan frequency is like this, and they live in love and light, and that's not going to make sense when you're talking to the United Nations about what's going on between the two and coming up with a solution. And not to say that we are going to be talking at the United Nations per se, but I'm just saying we are building a foundational dialogue that other people that are listening to us right now and have been listening to this station for quite some time are able to put out into the public sphere. So we got to give them good information they can work with, because guess what? Very, very few people are going to be interested in hearing that concept. And there's little that you can do with that concept, because even if you could get their attention, the ones that already want to hit a solution the way that we're looking at it, they also have to pitch a solution to the people that are over there on the Zionist side of the camp.
Well, the only thing that's going to change anything is that we raise our consciousness, and we have to do that individually.
That's such a cliche. I don't understand what that even means.
All right,
when someone says raise your vibration, or a higher vibration, lower vibration, light workers.
How are you going to convince anybody of anything? The only way is to
you can't.
do it by example.
Inspire
the
them.
only way is to do it by example.
You can only inspire them to change.
That means that you have to work on yourself. I bet you, Dory, do you have any comments on this?
Well, I'm in a whole...
Dumb it down for me, guys.
Okay. I understand what you're saying, Keith. I understand what Steve is saying as well. Yes, there's new souls coming in. Yes, we lift up the energy. But you don't have to check yourself at all. It just happens to us. But this is a holy war. You see the past. The past is repeating itself. It's always going to repeat itself. It goes back to Jerusalem, Israel. It goes back. We keep going back because now the times are changing, and they are changing. We all know what we're going through. We all know this. There's no denying what we're going through. We're like kindergarten people going, oh, crap, we lost our house, we lost our shit, we have no job, we have no this. We're all changing. Things are changing, but they're pushing all this stuff on these poor people in that part of the world because there's something there. There's something holy. I think it's a holy war, quite frankly. That's just my opinion. But yes, I don't think we have to change who we are. I think us are just changing. We just change. Some are asleep, let them sleep. Some are awake, let them awake. And tell you what, quite frankly, if someone said to me, how do I get awake? And I'd be, you know what? Go back to sleep. It's so much easier. Pay your taxes, go to work, get your milk and your bread, and your meat, and shut the hell up. Have fun with your grandkids and your children, and just go on about your life. Because a lot of us have been doing this for like 17 years. And we've been in pain, we had surgeries, lost organs, we've done everything. So there's a big deal going on here. And now we're looking at it from our point of view going, oh man, how many times were we down here before? Really? Were we the ones like carrying in that Trojan horse? Could have been all of us. Can you see us doing it? Yeah, let's trick them, right? It was us. It was us. And we got reincarnated yet again to come help out this planet, which the planet is fine. It's just another experience. Yes, I understand it. And I understand where you come from, Keith, and I adore you. You know that. But you can't raise anything, or you can't have more love or anything else than what you are already. That's just the way it is. But then again, you get upgraded at night. So who knows what's going to happen to us tomorrow? Who knows why our energy level has to be where it is? Who knows why we're doing what we're doing? I don't think Steve said, well, I didn't want to work or have any gas for my car because I just want to do this in my life, just like I didn't do the same thing. And I'm sure Angela in the same way. I'm sure Rectify did the same thing as well. So,
yes.
Right, we're all in the same boat, just different boats, but we're still in the same waters. Do you understand?
Well, let me ask you a question, Dory, if you don't mind. Can we not choose to try to move forward and raise our consciousness?
You can't raise it. There's no.
Really?
Well, you have to understand that you think you could raise it just by raising it. You could sit in, what do you want me to sit in the lotus position and call out to Allah and Yahweh and say, hey, I'm going to do my little yoga thing and have it come down. I think it happens to us gradually. I think the change is happening to all of us gradually. A lot of us are changing and a lot of us are dying.
Well, I certainly couldn't say that.
Well, we're all dying.
Well, if you look at there's a lot of people dying. Dave Corso died yesterday.
Yeah.
Ace died. They're dying one at a time. I want to shout out to Dave Corso.
Yeah.
He passed away yesterday. And, I was at his house last year. And now he's gone. He was like the toughest SOB I knew. And then all of a sudden he had the worst blood disease in the world. Well, where'd that come from?
Radiation.
And he was a super soldier. So, yeah, we're all going through our own stuff. And I understand that.
So true.
But, we have to just be us. I can't change who I am. I can never change. I gotta be better at loving. I gotta be better at this or kinder or whatever. No, I'm a bitch. Yeah, I'm kind too. I love everybody.
You gotta be yourself. Live today like it's your last, because tomorrow is never promised. So
right,
you gotta
understand.
Be you.
But we are changing. We are changing. I know I'm changing. I've changed over the last couple of years. I know it. But I didn't say, hey, I want to change.
Forcibly change.
No. Yeah. It just happens to us, Keith.
Dory, if you've changed and you've known it, now would you say that this change has a gradient move towards something that better or worse? Would you in your own personal perspective, from your subjective point of view, be able to say that it was a good or bad thing wherever you shifted to?
I think it's a good thing. I think, we're both in the same boat, right?
Well, then I have this question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Why did you tell Keith that we can't really raise our consciousness?
Well, I didn't mean it like that. What I'm saying is I think our consciousness is raising on its own. I think that signal that's going out to some of us that are alive or awake, I hate even the word awake. I don't like using it. But I think some of us come in here with our energy and we're here to lift something. But yeah, if you want to raise your consciousness and do it on your own, I don't see anything wrong with that. I just think we're being programmed. I think we're being uplifted by something. That's what I'm trying to say.
I also think that it can go both ways.
Me too. Exactly.
Look, what's happening is that the awareness is coming to us, and then people are making one of three decisions. They're either turning their back on the whole thing and pretending it doesn't exist, and doing their best to go to sleep. It's like they've got an alarm clock. Yeah. They've got an alarm clock with a permanent snooze button. It will not stop. It will continue to beep, 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 but you're gonna try and go to bed through the beeping, and you may do so, and then subconsciously there will be this beep while you dream. And that's where people are at that are sleeping right now. They keep hearing the signal because they're sleeping through a broken alarm clock that won't stop beeping because they were supposed to wake up back on 9/11 or some nonsense like that, like we talk about time paradox, events, et cetera, right? So, that's the class of people that we are talking about who are the big group that needs to change. And eventually they're not going to be able to tolerate that anymore, and they're going to have to make a choice. It's gonna polarize them. Because they're going to go into because there's the other two groups that they're going to polarize towards effectively. They're both groups that have embraced the awareness, and and then this is where free will comes into play. You can look at it because I know people that are a little bit more on the awake side, and they're more interested in joining the dark side, if you will. Looking at it as, look, there's plenty of benefits, and this serves me perfectly well, and I don't see a problem with this, that, and the other thing.
Look how many TV shows they've created around magic. They made it so intriguing. So once someone gets a taste of some of this occultic information and knowledge, they dive right in, and usually it's the dark side. You're right.
And it's not a lot of programming right now.
But dude, it's not even necessarily the occult thing, because even that there's a real serious interest in protecting that, because they don't want to have
it just means hidden.
Yeah. Well, I know it means hidden, but this is stuff that is. It's not like some big operation that they then have to create a big veil through the media with. This is secret society stuff that keeps itself incredibly low key, and it's working 10 levels away from anything. That's why you got 33 degrees of Freemason. You got 32 degrees of obfuscation before you get to the highest truths that the Freemason order.
There's a lot more than 33 degrees, Steve.
Exactly. But how do you know about it now?
Yes.
Sorry, not to interrupt you, but how do you know about it now, Steve, right? Because you know about it.
Jack shit about it. That's the truth.
But you know about something. You know something, or someone is doing something secret.
Everything we understand about the Freemasons could have been a myth invented by the Freemasons, so that way we know nothing about the Freemasons. So I don't even want to go there.
No, we're not going there. I'm just saying, now we know stuff, though, that we didn't know before.
Let me pull this back into my polarity argument, though, for you real quick. Because I've got friends I've met who are a little bit more interested in the dark side. And they're very, because they're very aware of a decent amount of things at the very least. And so they're all down with the dark side aspect of it, and some of that dark side aspect of it even has an attitude that's even reflective of the light side of it, which is where I have strange agreements with them, and I can still call them friends. Which is partially based on my hope that that they aren't completely lost on whatever Judgment Day will be for them. And then, of course, there's our side of the argument where they go down this road where they're really exploring what I think ultimately all of us are really thinking in the back of our heads is how do we make sure that when Judgment Day comes, we're activating the Golden Age, and it's a good thing that comes out of it, not a bad thing.
What is Judgment Day, and this planet is duality. We are suffering here. This is a planet of duality. We suffer on a daily basis. What judgment? Who's going to judge you? Who are you going to get judged for? Who is going to judge you, and what are you going to get judged for? I don't understand that. It has to be duality. I have my cousins, my family are in Skull and Bones. That doesn't mean I am part of that. Yes, part of my bloodline. But that has nothing to do with me. I was born to do this route. It wasn't I planned on it. I just was born to do this route. I love my cousins.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing as far as all the degrees of the occult and things like that. I've known witches everywhere from the hippies, they still practice their craft, all the way up to the ones that are living in mansions driving Bentleys,
I was engaged to a witch.
I straight up go there, but yeah, go ahead.
I remind you of our friend and fellow host here at the station, Solaris Blue Raven.
Right, I've got nothing against her. I enjoy listening to her if I can keep it.
Right.
That's her gig. That's her energy, right?
Let me. Travesty, you were saying there were 3 types of people or something. The people that turned their back. Then you went to the next thing, and then I was just hoping you'd get to the third thing because you kind of went off on a tangent.
Third thing is our side of the paradigm.
Powers meaning communicators on the radio or truthers or what?
Kind of, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, just clarify.
Look at this group that we are. Look at how freaking diversified it is in certain senses. You get the people that have a very, very biblical side of the look to it, with the highest extreme of that being hijacker. You've got people like me that kind of keep sort of a balance of it and is very kind of pagan leaning, which is why I love things like Viking metal and Norse mythology and also Wicca and all that stuff. You've got people that are a little bit more on the practical side. I mean, like Sean David Morton has a lot of the Eastern philosophy things as a very, very important aspect to his spiritual perceptions, but then he also is far more, grounded in things about just having constitutional government, and let's get all the crap at Area 51 put out in the open so that way we can have Star Trek future. You got the Stu Webb guys, that are just, they're just happy they can stop World War III for another day. We run such a wide gambit. We have our own kind of psychotic, like, as a consciousness on the light side, a schizophrenia right now that needs to be cohesive sized, which is one of the things I love about Revolution Radio, especially when we get down to the roundtables, whenever some of these various hosts that seem to cover every single perspective of those who are quote-unquote awakened, we kind of get together and we have these arguments, and the worst of arguments and the worst of people eventually naturally get purged in a way that doesn't sit there, and they would sit there and say like, oh, I was kicked out by these people, yada, yada, yada. Unless, of course, they did something egregiously insulting, but that's different. But we're just talking about the merits of their point of view. So you see what I'm trying to say?
Yeah,
here?
We get it, but it is duality, though. You get that, right? Like, there's going to be that side and our side. We'd have nothing to talk about.
That's our greatest setback, is a problem with a cohesiveness of the story, because then you talk about, well, what is Revolution Radio? Well, then you have to get into Revolution Radio. Well, some of the hosts believe this is what happened, and some of the hosts believe that is what happened.
I have an answer for that. It's called free speech. I think if you ask what Revolution Radio is, it's free speech. I mean, pretty much,
Hey, well, then CNN is free speech as well by that.
No, exactly, it's not. But yes, I understand where she's coming from. Yeah, but it's
duality. If I may, let me emphasize, Dory, I want you to continue. Steve, I just wanted to say, what Dory, to my understanding, is saying, it is that it is. This is where we're at. Deal with it. We don't know what really happened in the Malaysian flight or in the Ukraine or in Syria, but we do know what's going on for us personally. It is what it is. Is that Dory? Would you like to expand on that?
Basically correct, but they're getting sloppy. You guys don't see this. Oh, just having to disappear. Now you got a plane with body with no blood in it. I mean, come on, like, are we stupid? If it's in Columbine, it's this one. If they don't kill the kids, it's something else. It's like, all this stuff is being thrown at us at a constant basis to keep us off our path or whatever we have to do. What the path is, I don't know.
A wise man said to me once, and this is going back about, 89 paragraphs ago, a wise man said to me once, and this has to do with exactly what you're talking about, or we're talking about, Dory, and all of us for that matter, is every day, everyone becomes more of what they are. And I've never found that to be untrue, because, if I'm making a shift in my life, then I'm more that thing that I was, before that.
Before, yeah.
Yeah. And absolutely. Also, if I'm walking toward a point, in my path or whatever, and there's, if you picture yourself in the middle of a, like a nucleus. And if you are walking this way, then you're obviously not walking that way. So, if you're on that path, then that's the path that you're on, and that's the path so time, whatever that thing is kind of irrelevant, because as long as you're walking that path, you're actually at the end of it, in my opinion. I don't know if that makes any sense. But the point is, that I just think, regarding the raising your consciousness or elevating your consciousness, et cetera, as long as we can maybe exemplify that, or at least allude to this, the simple start of that. If I want to raise my consciousness, you said, Dory, what do I do? Go, put myself in a lotus position and, praise to Allah or Yahweh or whatever. And that was, a great comment, because that's one way that someone might, be ready in their path to do that. And I do think that we're all, on, some type of an elevation thing. And the other thing I wanted to comment on was that you guys were talking about good or bad, and then, of course, you were bringing up duality and that type of thing. Is it really good or bad? I mean, maybe, like, for instance, if somebody's going through a health issue, maybe they have to hit a certain point before it starts to, before their, consciousness helps them maybe walk, toward something higher than that. Or maybe they're on their way toward, unfortunately, for their loved one's death, this type of thing. And so I do agree that, just saying raise your consciousness, elevate your consciousness, I don't know what that means. I do know that, for instance, I don't like to buy too many plastic water bottles. I like to go ahead and fill them up and use a water purifier so that I don't, create more landfill problems later on. I don't think people 50 years ago were dealing with plastic issues and not, people just throw away plastic water bottles like there's no tomorrow. And it's very funny to me because so what I, as a person on my level, have been doing, for instance, is, being conscious of how much plastic I throw away. And maybe that's not, I know I'm not talking about Hamas, but I am talking about,
every little bit counts. So that's
it does, but it works for you.
It's got to be on the
micro.
It
works for you. It works for all of us.
I don't want to see the trash avalanche of 2550, and like in the movie Idiocracy, and I hate to quote a movie, but it is a great movie. Where basically, we're just, mindlessly, I think that's the key here is that are you going to be mindless or are you going to pay attention to what's going on around your immediate area and how can you affect, with the ripple effect, your immediate, say, neighborhood or family or friends. And for instance, this would be, considered a family and friends type of neighborhood, this particular venue that we're speaking on right now. And I think I'm done babbling.
I hope you raise a good point, but in my world, I've seen everything change. I've seen my life change, my monetary situation change, but I always was aware. I was always intuitive. I've never changed that. And then all of a sudden it left me. I was like walking blind. I had a blindfold on for 2 years. I was like, sorry kid, you get nothing now. Or I couldn't tell if somebody was lying or I didn't feel all the pain that I used to feel when I walked in a grocery store. Everybody has their own path. I can't say to you, oh, your path is correct and you're doing what you have to do. Right. I always see the past though. Everybody's bringing up the past. We're so brainwashed. All of us still. We're not like totally there. We're just seeing little bits and pieces of this reality, which really isn't a reality anyway. It's a facade.
Everything that's been said with this clip.
Right, it's a fake. Nothing's real. If you look at it, we're here to have an experience.
No ending! No ending! No ending!
But you know what I mean. It's like, I'm not right, I'm not wrong, you're not right, you're not wrong. We all have our own path to follow. We have to follow it. And, like minds come together because of that reason. We're here to bring the energies. And Keith, you're right. But the talk tonight is bringing that energy up. You understand? Like minds come to the like situations and so on and so forth. It brings energy, blah, blah, blah. The whole situation. I don't have to go to exactly what energy does to us. But I just think we're all going through changes. And the ones that are dropping like flies is funny. Not funny that they're dying, but it's funny because those are the ones that were trying to push us into this new age, whatever you want to call that. And then they're dead now, which is kind of weird because now those are the ones who had all this happen to them, and everybody has their own experience. There's super soldiers, there's this, there's that, there's witches, there's whatever. There's the bad, there's the good, and the ugly. But I think we come down here, or we're lifting it up, and there has to be good and bad. It has to be if it's duality. This planet has to have pain on it. It has to have it. We can't say everything's going to be peaches and cream tomorrow, and then we have nothing to complain about or talk about. We wouldn't have a radio show. If everything was so wonderful, what are we going to talk about? Hey, Keith, how you doing? Oh, life is good for you? Great. And we'd hang up.
Radio show. We can go out and do things because nobody needs to hear anybody.
What are you going to do? You can do nothing. It's too perfect.
If nobody needed a radio show anymore, if everybody was just so intuitive and psychic or just aware or whatever that all truth is self-evident all the time exactly when you need it.
Well,
I've got a very short comment.
The sun got too brutal for me to be out there holding a sign up, so I chose a microphone.
All right, look, he can do his
I got a very short comment.
Go ahead, Keith.
That's my point.
Just because they're dead.
We don't.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Steve.
I'm saying it's a very good thing if we wouldn't need the radio anymore, because that's part of. See, we're setting ourselves up to destroy this thing when it's no longer necessary, but we are not propagating what makes it necessary. You know?
You make it necessary. You get on the radio every day, Steve. You're on the radio more than us. You make a difference.
I don't make this radio station necessary.
Bullshit.
The problems in the world make this radio station necessary. That's what makes the radio station necessary. People will come here to look for the truth.
What's the truth? We don't even know what the truth is. We only know our truth. It's an individual truth. Nobody knows what the truth is. Not.
Solipsism. I will never endorse solipsism. Solipsism is
I understand.
It's a tool of the dead. It is a tool of.
Well,
you're not going to die.
It's more relative. That is the worst belief system you could have. Is solipsism. Is to say that there is no truth.
Or not.
I never said there is no truth. What I said is we're all changing. There is something going on that we all have to come together. So if other people listen to us speak, intelligently or not, whatever, we're all going through our own issues. We're going through our own uplifting or awakening. I hate that word. I don't even know. I'm going to have to make up a new word. But we're all going through this together. Who's losing organs? Who's feeling sick? Who's sick constantly? Been there. Raise your hand. Raise your hand. You've been sick. Who did drugs in their life? Raise your hand. Yeah, we had an experience. It's an experience. And you want everything to be good and there's judgment. And who the hell is going to judge me? I dare some MF to come and judge me for my life when I already planned to come down here of free will. There's no judgment here. This is hell to me. I've been there. I've done that. And being intuitive is even worse. I can't even go to a grocery store. So yeah, we all go through our own different things. But who's going to judge me? Someone going to judge me?
I'm going to judge you now.
Go ahead, you judge me. God bless the poor little cat, right?
This is what I say. All is in divine right order. I'll say it again since everybody got quiet.
That wasn't judgment.
All is in divine right order.
Well,
this is very powerful to know because
that is judging to say that all is dismissed. There is no case here.
It takes away all judgment. It reminds you of who you are spiritually, because you are a divine right being, are you not, Steve? Are you not a divine being?
Yeah, but I am also...
Okay, there you go. Argument done.
Steve's a DB.
All is in divine right order. And that means that we can take our challenges and our adventures and learn from them.
Divinity. Give me the definition, Keith, of divinity in your eyes.
Divinity?
Yeah.
That's who you are, dude.
Explain.
You're divine. Are you not a spiritual being? Yes, you are. I know that. Are you? Would you agree or not?
We'll be right back. 347-688-2902. We want all divine beings to call. We'll be right back. TheGrayZone.
Radio at freedomslips.com. We'll be right back after this message.
Who owns you? If you're not in control, then someone else is. Join me, Ivy West, for Voices on the Wind, Saturday from 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern in Studio A. I discuss government, health, metaphysics, suppressed science, universal mysteries, little-known incredible facts, alternative energies, and even more than you can imagine. Won't you join us on Revolution Radio Saturdays from 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern for Voices on the Wind with me, Ivy West.
There are lives in the balance, people under fire, children at the cannons.
Because if your head's in the sand, your tail is a target.
Hi everybody, it's me, the Fetch, host of Inside the Eye Live. Before the Sunday mainstream media political pundit talk shows, there is Inside the Eye Live, where we break down some of the weekly mainstream media talking points before the talking points even get aired. Add in some entertaining stories, weather, cats, intriguing and informative guests, and you get one of the most listened to Saturday morning streaming media political talk shows going today. And it's all right here on our flagship station, Revolution Radio at freedomslips.com. So join me, the Fetch, for Inside the Eye Live every Saturday morning at 10 o'clock a.m. Eastern. It is truly intelligent media for the politically aware.
I have worked with the CIA, NSA, Templars, and Bilderbergers. Now I work for you. My show will disclose secrets of science and esoteric knowledge. Join me, Stephen D. Kelly, for 2 hours every Thursday night at 10 o'clock Eastern Time on freedomslips.com, Revolution Radio, Studio A. You can also listen to previous shows by going to youtube.com/Free Revolution Radio.
Anti-aircraft guns went into action against unidentified aircraft in the Los Angeles area shortly after 3 a.m. Pacific Wartime this morning.
We are far stronger than we were 10 weeks ago.
Oh, General Quarters, all hands at your battle stations.
Be nervous, not your toes. I'll do the mastermind around here.
You who have not seen it do not know what hell looks like from the top.
Well, check it out every Tuesday and Saturday on Revolution Radio. It's a double dose of the internationally recognized renegade military historian Douglas Dietrich.
You'll stay right where you are till I tell you to move out.
Yeah, that's right. Tuesdays from 10 to midnight Eastern Time. Join Douglas Dietrich as he exposes the truth in hidden history on his show Critical Omissions. And then our human weapon of mass destruction is back once again to take your calls on Saturday Night Firing Lines. Both from 10 to 12 p.m. Eastern Time. Only on Revolution Radio at freedomslips.com.
This is Thomas, a.k.a. a Mad Painter. I'd like you to join me Monday nights, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Open Canvas. Don't forget to bring an open mind.
Yes, folks, that's right. Bring an open mind to an open canvas. Again, that is Monday nights, 10 p.m. Eastern. UFOs to government corruption. This is Revolution Radio, freedomslips.com. You don't need to expect us. We're already here. Revolution Radio. You're listening listening to Revolution Radio, freedomslips.com, 100% listener-supported radio, and now we return you to your host.
Welcome back, everyone. You're listening to The Gray Zone, hosted by Rectify and his various co-hosts of the evening. My name's Angela Black. It's one of my very first moments back on air in a couple of months, and we are joined by Dorriebar, KeithAZ, and Steve Travesty. And I'm just happy to be here with you, Rectify. Now, you're listening to Revolution Radio, the number one 100% listener-supported radio station on the net, in the universe, for that matter. And, your donations do help and count. We also have cool things for you. I don't even know, do they still have the seed pack, everyone? Does the seed pack still exist?
Still there, yep.
Hey, I got that, and I'm growing
tomatoes.
Yeah, there's all kinds of cool stuff that you can, donate your monies to and end up with something cool, and or you can sponsor your favorite show, all kinds of different ways. You can also go to the YouTube channel, which is, what's it called? I'm so out of the loop.
It's Talk Revolution Radio.
Yeah, so youtube.com/Talk Revolution Radio, and if you watch or listen to your favorite show's archive and sit through the ad for 30 seconds or whatever, the station makes a few cents. So if you have no cash, you are welcome to just sit for free on your butt, and we make money if you go to the YouTube channel. Woohoo!
And check out our cool-ass chat room, freedomslips.com. You'll see the chat link at the top right.
Yeah, and it is cool ass, chat.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
Donkey style. Donkey.
Speaking of donkeys, I do want to say hi to Lambi, who was a former co-host of mine and also a former producer for Sean David Morton, which is now the role that Travesty, one of Travesty's roles here on the station. And Peter and I, a long time ago, were talking about the fact that he was about to start, a donkey farm. And then he was going to eventually make donkey cheese, and it's supposed to be the most expensive cheese on the planet, by the way, like $1,350 for a kilo or something like that of donkey cheese. I don't know, but it was a big piece of conversation during our show, so I just wanted to give a shout out to Lobby and everyone on Revolution Radio, by the way. Hi, everyone. Okay. You guys made me do that, so...
Yeah, I botched it for you, too, because you didn't know about the intro music, so I'm sorry about that.
I'm sorry, I didn't know.
Issues. See what happens. We're just so sloppy over here, guys. No, we're not. That just happens. Angela's been on vacation for a bit, so...
I apologize. I did not know.
No, it's all good. It's
not
all
like
good.
bringing her back 150%.
Time, so, yeah,
that's how we did it. Yeah, you're back now, girl. You ain't itching yourself into nothing now. Yeah, it was on purpose. Sorry.
Well, we got a caller coming in. 818. Is this free and awake? 818, you're on the air. What's your name?
Wow.
Going once. What?
Yeah, we can't hear you, hon. Hang up. Yeah.
Yeah, 818. Check your phone or your whatever thing to call us.
That was really weird.
That's Los Angeles.
Like a chipmunk. So.
A chipmunk. I was going to say the same thing.
But yeah, if you guys want to come in, if you're a divine being, 347-688-2902.
All DBs welcome.
Yep, we'll take DB. But yeah, we've got Angela Black with us, myself, Rectify, Keith Roberts, Steve Travesty, and Miss Dorriebar. Don't mess with Dory. She comes from the East Coast.
Right, yeah. I'm the bad one of us.
I got a couple of things I want to say from
Please do.
Before the last break. A couple grievances with statements. For one thing, to address what Keith was talking about like, am I a divine being? Which of course I said yes, and of course, because Keith knew that I knew the correct answer to that question, he took it as a complete validation of his entire hypothesis. And I still have a disagreement with that based on the merit that, we are giving this, because we are all a part of the Creator, that doesn't mean that we are so indivisible in who and what we are that we do falter and fall out of line with.
I'm certainly here right now, but it looks like Rectify is going to bring in a new caller.
Yeah, we got 808. They called back. Can you hear us, 808?
Yes, can you hear me now?
Yeah, there you are. We got a clean connection now. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Calling from Hawaii. Tommy Hawkswood.
So they're calling from the past, and we're talking mostly to people in the future. Cool. What's on your mind?
All right. Yeah, well, I'm calling out of Hawaii. It's a little earlier for me than you, but...
That's what I was saying. You're in our past.
Yeah. So I just wanted to cut into the conversation. I'm looking at the chat room, what's going on by what you're saying on the show, what they're saying in the chat room. Like what planet Earth is called, like some people say it's hell. Most people say it's heaven. It could be anything what people want it to be, because they're living their own lives. And when somebody says that, it's their choice. It's like the glass is half full or half empty. No matter how you look at it, it's a glass and there's water up to the halfway mark. And that's exactly what it is. It's nothing different. People can analyze and say whatever they want, but until they can prove it to themselves, it doesn't matter. When we talk about we're all part of God, when people say that God realized or they're coming from Christ consciousness, for me, the first thing I would say, to use a word like that, you would have to understand Christ. God realization, you would have to understand God. Self-awareness, you are, because you're learning about what and who you are. So that word would fit what most people say they are. But I do have a problem when everybody says they're all part of God. You know, we're such a small part of God, but what do we create? The only thing man can create in this planet is children. Spaceships, cars, and houses. Compared to a God that created multiple universes, galaxies, levels of awareness and different deities all along the way, it's hard to say that we're even closely equal to that, or even aware of that. Me personally, I'm trying to teach what I feel and what I learned in my lifetime. I learned things that are real and things that are not. I started when I was 14 working with the top psychics then, and I'm still dealing with a lot of them now. And I challenge a lot of them, just like the biggest famous magicians out there. Personal friend, one of the most famous magicians that died, Doug Henning. Kreskin, the amazing Kreskin. He's out there right now saying hypnosis is fake. I mean, you got a lot of the big name people battling with the people that claim to be psychics. And I'll say, here's something for the people out there. All the psychics that are channeling right now say they're working with deities, angels, like St. Michael, Gabriel, the Council of Nine. Where's the truth that they're bringing to the world? I mean, these people channel and talk to these beings, the highest angels that are supposed to exist, and they come out with the world's okay, we're all going to be spiritual. Well, that's true. Some souls will become that. But we got a world that's very close to a major war, major toxicity. And it's not because God says, well, I want to give everybody a hard time. It's because man wants to give himself a hard time. I mean, that's open. I mean, you can say, we could talk about that because, like, right now, man makes nuclear bombs, which destroy the planet. They're making chemicals that destroy the planet and the food. Just about everything you eat is contaminated. And we're blaming God for that? I mean, to say that we are God, if we were God, God wouldn't kill itself. Man does that. Man eats itself. Man eats people. No other creature does that. They don't eat themselves.
I haven't seen Soylent Green yet on the shelves, but I don't see us too far from that point.
Well, we did have Soylent Green on the shelves because you had Pepsi used to have a contract with Cenemix for experimenting with new flavors for sodas, and Cenemix was using stem cells from fetuses, from human fetuses, as part of its flavoring ingredients in its tests. So odds are we have been eating ourselves in some doses.
Well, there's Aborigine tribes that eat people yet to this day. I mean, the government's been trying to stamp all Aborigine tribes out, and destroying them and taking away their heritage and stuff. I'm not saying it's good.
I'm pretty sure that cannibalism is outside of divine order, even if it's being, practiced by a tribe that may be, close to the earth. That doesn't mean that tribe doesn't endorse a malevolent entity as its native totem, if you will.
Excuse me, guys, I want to interrupt. We've been joined by the hostess of Wild at Heart Roundtable, Noreen.
Hey, you guys. Thank you, Rectify. I just got done doing my own roundtable, so, I'm kind of like, Dory's like, we got to have you on because something about spiritual beings. I'm like, okay. But I'm here just to add, but mostly just to kick it and lurk. So, if I have something to say, I will, but I'm really just kind of hearing and enjoying you guys a lot, so.
Well, we're on the doom and gloom route right now.
That's cool. I'm okay with whatever.
What kind of positives do you see in God's greatest creation, which is man? I can agree with you that we're not all God, but we are His greatest creation. So yeah, give me some positives on what you see in man.
Could I just share something real fast?
Yeah.
There's a lot of positive things if man's ready to look for it. Like, when most people doubt or say the Ten Commandments are outdated, the idea of killing should be outdated. You'd think after 50,000 years, man would learn that killing each other is not a good thing. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that out. But what I see, which is what has to change, and I'll say a simple way how it can change. Most relationships are ending anywhere from between 3 and 10 years, and there's 20 and 30-year relationships that are ending now even. It's over 60%. And the reason why I would say that is the first and main reason when two people fall in love and say they love each other, they need to sit down and talk to each other. Talk about what they feel, what they think, and what they like and what they don't like. For real, not make-believe, just to get married and then become who they want to be after they get married. I mean, you're going to plan a life of the rest of your life with somebody. You need to know everything about them, at least be honest about it. Don't leave all these skeletons in the closet because when they come out, it hurts the relationship. Simple things man can do to take a step forward in life. And the first place to start is in your home with your children. Respect, like one of the Ten Commandments says, honor thy mother and father. But the second part of that is they have to respect their children. You can't be drinking and abusive parents and expect your children to respect you. We have to be aware of our actions, which very few people care about. When we say we're God, we feel that we don't have to be owed any feelings to anybody else other than ourselves, so we can do what we want. Doing what you want without being aware of who you say you are. If you say you're God, you think God wants to go out and beat people up, rob people, and anything else? It's simple. It's not that complicated.
I believe in God smacks. I mean, it's all through the Old Testament, the Torah. Plenty of God smacks.
Yeah, and also, I mean, when you I've taken a look using one of these programs that the Greek had recommended to me. Actually, I think it might have been Seth Michael, but I think Seth Michael I got it. Inter-Scripture Analyzer, and that gives you the Hebrew. It gives you the word for word Hebrew phonetic and definition as it goes through it. And there's actually a line somewhere in Genesis that says that, I think it's basically the proper translation of man being created in God's image. It literally translates to and the Creator made man as the Elohim. So so we are meant to be on the same level as Elohim, as in we are like demigods. We are not like the Creator. We are still under His law. We have those limitations. However, we do have great power. We are on that same level. Or perhaps it was, and this is my interpretation, a statement of potential, because obviously I don't I cannot wield consciously any creator powers the way that I know that archons can, or that alleged aliens or higher dimensional entities and spirits can, because of the rules of my incarnation here on this level. And of course there's also free will, and you can fall out of alignment with divine order if you so choose. That's kind of part of the whole Lucifer rebellion story, is kind of an expression of that. And there's supposed to be an issue of
Let me pass the mic over. We got a new caller, Steve. 856, you're on the air. What's your name?
Hey, this is Eric and Samantha. How you guys doing tonight?
Good, Eric. What's on your mind, man?
We're about an hour away from South Jersey. We were probably, well, I know for a fact, we were the only listeners there that haven't really interacted with the station before.
Besides calling
in, we've never really been in chat or anything, and it was quite amazing. Just I don't know.
You talking about the Hawk Fest party?
Yeah. Hawk party.
Yeah, give us a little event detail on how that went.
Well, it was really great because it was like the meeting of the minds, kind of, but at the same time, it was like meeting family that you've not met yet. You know what I mean?
Very humbling and enlightening and loving all the way around.
That's Revolution Radio right there, guys. That's a testament to everybody listening.
For sure. And I've been listening for a while now, probably 2.5, 3 years. And now that I've physically come in contact with some people from the station, it just makes it that much realer. So I'd like to be more involved and support the station as much as possible. But,
well, welcome you two to the TheGrayZone Roundtable. I mean, you guys can call in anytime you want to any roundtable. We don't reject any calls. We don't screen any callers. And basically, you could speak your mind except for the F-bomb.
Right. Okay. Well, and that's pretty much the main rule, I guess.
Pretty much, just try to, and we don't really attack anybody, that's on the call anyway.
Right. That's good to know. But I appreciate everything that everybody does, even the people that I didn't meet, because I love Steve Travesty and Tommy. His show's amazing. Angela, I've heard your show a bunch of times.
Oh, thanks.
I don't believe I've ever heard Rectify, but
I'm in the shadows.
Okay, I'll check you out, brother. And we definitely had a great time, and I'm looking forward to more interaction with everybody at the station. So.
That's awesome. I'm really glad you made it to the party. I am just getting back into the flow now, so I completely missed it, but I was able to wish Hawk a happy birthday. But that's really cool that you guys drove there and all that kind of stuff. That's awesome.
Yeah, and it was nice to be invited back to the house and check out the farm and all the cats and the dog, and it was just a real good time. And we had 2 of our children, and everybody treated them like they were their children. Yeah, it was quite amazing.
Yeah,
so.
Very loving.
I appreciated the whole experience, and we'll definitely be coming back for the next one.
Wow, that is so cool.
But you guys keep up the good work. I don't know if my better half over here is gonna maybe say a thing or two, but thanks a lot. I'm still driving. I got about an hour to go, nonstop from Kentucky. So
wow.
I'll be talking to you guys again soon. Thank you.
All right, thanks for calling in, Eric.
All right, Eric.
Yeah, take care.
Wow, that's cool.
Safe trip.
Yeah,
hi, Samantha.
Awesome.
Hi, how are you?
It's
good,
always
how are
good
you?
Testimony. Like
We saw you on a video.
Oh, I don't know how anybody could miss
You're
me.
adorable. Is that your little girl, both of you? That's your child, right?
Yes.
She's so gorgeous. Yeah, we saw it. We were like, yay! No, we saw a little girl with blonde hair.
Yeah, that's my daughter.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then the young man that's really big, but he's only 12 years old, that's our son.
Yeah.
He's adorable. They're both gorgeous. But we're the Cali people. We're the West Coast side, so we didn't get to go. So we're jealous that you got to go. So.
Well, I'm sorry. We should definitely try to attempt it next year because I'm hoping it'll be even more people and more intense and just more camaraderie, you know?
Definitely. But we've always said there's going to be a Cali revolution coming to California, so, you know, you guys, you all have places to stay, so we're family here.
Well, we appreciate it. That'll be a nice long road trip.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, you might have to fly.
We're not down with being broke.
Oh,
yeah, it is
somebody's watching the video.
But we're
you
all
have to shut it off. Sorry, 1 second, honey. Just put it on mute. Who's ever watching that video, put it on mute.
I can't hear it.
I'm not hearing it
I
either.
can hear it.
Check your side. You might have a
It
tap
might be
open.
you,
Is
Dory.
it me? Seriously?
Yeah, I think so. Hey,
I would just like to say that I really like the conversation this evening and that I have a different view with words and with vibrations and consciousness than some others. And we like to use words like understanding instead of understanding with our children, so that way they can take it internally for themselves. Because words are double meaning, sometimes triple meaning, and when you say under, you know, it's over their head, really.
Right, it's a sign of authority too. You're contracting to authority. Yes, I'll be under your authority. I'll stand under you. Not just that, but you want to teach your kids not to park on the driveway, but to drive on the parkway. I mean, the other way around. There we go.
Yes, well, there's double meaning to everything. And so we try to teach them that spirituality and the way that people see corporate and religion is not really spirituality. And spirituality is a vibration and an enlightenment and a understanding of rising your vibrations with your consciousness and your mind, body, and soul, and your aura, and expanding yourself as one, and looking within and knowing who you are, because that's the only person through the rest of your life you can rely on besides someone that you let into your sacred space.
She's got a point. I agree. Anyone else? Hands up?
Well, there's marriage, you know, where you become one flesh. So you're kind of reliant on your better half at that point in time, once you make that commitment. I mean, it's sickness and health. And you're one flesh, so.
We
for sure, but it's such hard work.
Yeah.
And it can be a struggle. Not that it is something, but it can be at times. But you just gotta work through all that. It's just like any relationship with anybody, your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister, you know, there's always going to be some kind of, friction, but if you're tight like that, if you're
energetically vibing and
right, it's not just always on the physical either, for sure.
These days, I've found myself closer to people like Revolution Radio. I spend a lot more time in communication, a lot more like-mindedness, it seems, elsewhere other than my family. Even though, I mean, blood's always thicker than water. You can always fall back, but it's different. We're not vibing on the same levels. I often get judged by my family very quickly.
We do too. What we understand and what we know and our truths are so far from anything that's in their reality. It's almost not funny. but but you know what? They're, like you said, blood is kind of thicker than water, and they are your family. And for me personally, it's my parents, but, you know, they're still there when I need them, and I try to be there when they need me, but you gotta not let someone else's opinion or judgment be passed on to you, because when you look in the mirror, you are the only one that can judge yourself. Mm-hmm. And you are the harshest judge above all, besides the Creator. And I'm Native, so it's the Creator. We don't say God, nothing like that. So it's, when we had a unionship or a courtship, however you want to put it, we asked the 4 elements in Gaia for the blessing, and we were very much blessed with our union, and that's how we look at things. If people were able to see the trees, the wind, and the dirt, and realize that you are no better than dirt, which a very good person has said that many times that I've listened to, then they would have a better understanding of themselves and others, and they would treat others the way they want to be treated, and that would be a better society. Although I do believe in a strong hand, if most of these children had a little bit of a butt whooping and a tough love, they wouldn't be acting as insanely as they are these days. And I have no TV, so I don't see as much as some people see. So I'm blessed that way to not be really into that type of drama entertainment, is how I put it.
Yeah, I don't own a TV either. I do watch some shows, but I pick and choose those. And I hate I don't hate many things, but I dislike advertising. I hate being yelled at by people on TV and stuff like that, so I don't miss it at all. And I was going to make a comment that you had brought up earlier, Samantha, talking about how when you're standing in front of the mirror, if indeed, it could be a proverbial mirror or whatever, but when you're basically, judging yourself, and you can be a harsh judge. What I've learned in the past few months, I was ill, and I'm getting better now and stuff like that, is I started to let in more light, and in my vessel, if you will, and I've really started to not be so harsh to myself, and to start really believing in the part of me that exists that I was kind of downplaying into a darkness land for a while, which is one of the reasons I had to stop communicating on air for a while, because I just didn't feel like my message was positive anymore. I started to fall, and maybe people didn't notice that, but I was noticing it in my personal life. So what I've found is that, you can be your own worst critic, but you can also be your own best friend, if you will. And I think that's something that, we're all talking about here, the raising of consciousness, that type of thing. I don't know if I want to call it self-forgiveness necessarily, but I do think, self-love is incredibly important. And I think that, a kind thought toward oneself is a good thing. And I like, for instance, if I touch, I make a lot of soup, homemade soup, and today I touched something, and I burned my thumb, and I found myself calling myself an idiot, and then I said, you know what, I take that back. I just burned myself. I'm okay. I want to stop calling myself an idiot. You know what I mean? And those types of things. So it's small, but in my world, it really is it's a vibration that definitely is changing. And I just wanted to comment on what you had said. And I think that you're right on that page as well.
And that's very true, because when you let go of diseasiness, you let go of disease within yourself, and you become your own healer. And my husband is famous for the saying to tell me that when you are sorry or say you're sorry, you're in a sorry state. And I had Mona tell me, because I can't tell you how many times this weekend when I bumped into somebody or, I did something, I always apologize. Mona embraced his saying that he's been saying to me for months and says, you're not sorry. Get that word out of your mouth. Get should, could, can't, try. Just change that vocabulary, because if you don't change the vocabulary, you're not going to change your train of thought or your ideas or your views of yourself.
It's true. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys think? Anybody else on this call? No, I agree. It's funny because it's a self-hypnotism.
It is. I say cancel.
Yeah,
I just say cancel. Like if I screw up and I know it, whether I swear at somebody in my head or whatever, I say cancel. I cancel as fast as I can. Yeah, I always say that. It works.
That's interesting.
Whatever I say, just say cancel. But I would say pardon me. I wouldn't say I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'll say excuse me.
Like excuse me, or pardon me, East Coast, we say pardon me,
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say pardon me.
Well, that's great that you got to learn that. And Mona would be a great,
great teacher. Oh, she is.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Mona's like, the bee's knees.
Phenomenal person.
Isn't she wonderful? You got to meet her. How lucky are you?
We did, and she was very, very beautiful as a light being to me, and I could see her teaching a lot of wisdom to people with, her oils or just what she has to say, and I could sit around for her forever if I could to just learn and pick her brain some more, because we didn't really get that much of a time having to drive there and back, and there was a rainstorm.
Yeah, we heard.
We kind of got flooded, and somebody ended up in a tent of my son's.
Jer Bear. You know what? He deserves it. I'm sorry, but he does need to float. He does.
Oxbloods join the conversation, guys.
We crucify him as the day is long, girl. You have to know how we love Jer Bear. We just crucify him just because we can.
Oh, well, he's
we do love him, though. No, seriously, we adore him. Yeah.
Hey, Tom, how you doing, sir?
Greetings. Hi, sorry about that.
What's on your mind?
No, I was on and I got cut off a little while ago, so I don't know what happened.
You were the caller that dropped off?
Yeah,
right.
Tommy, I knew it was you, Tommy, but you never mentioned your name, so I don't
the first thing I said was Tommy Hawksblood.
Oh, really? I only heard Hawaii. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I didn't hear it either. That's why I called you Hawaii.
Oh, okay.
All right, so we're back, and we got a half an hour left, about 25 minutes actually. Let's pass the mic around. Steve, I know you're biting at the helm right now. Why don't you say something? And then Noreen. And then I want to hear again from Angela, because I've been missing the doses of Angela Black for many moons now.
Oh, you're sweet.
And then Dory, of course. And then we'll go Thomas.
And Eric and Samantha.
And Eric and Samantha.
And Keith.
Keith got to go. Yeah.
Did you leave? Okay, sorry.
But yeah, Steve, Travesty, you there?
The conversation's gone around so many different divergence of the topic. I'm not sure where to where to really go with it from where it is. But I did also have, like, earlier on when I last spoke, I was talking about how I had two grievances before the break had come on. I addressed the first one. The second one was associated with something that Angela had said about how everybody is becoming more of who they are. And
every day, everyone becomes more of what they are. Yes, exactly.
Right.
Or who they are. Yes.
I would say that that they become more of what they are doing for some people, because there's a lot of people on this planet that have no idea who they are. Mm-hmm. You ask them, who are you? And they will go and they will look at all of these things that they have done to define themselves, to create their identity, and but that's not really telling you who they are, because somebody will sit there and say, well, I'm a doctor of this, that, and the other thing. Well, those are things that you've accomplished, and it's a part of what you are. But what's the core of your being that that has the doctor association with it and everything else? Like there's a certain aspect where I think people don't really think about it. You meet somebody who's a doctor. they may be a doctor because that's their job. That may not be exactly who they are. It's just something that they're doing, and it's
they could work at a cannery. They could be shoveling in the summer in whatever state you choose. So it doesn't define you, but I think it was more about core motivation, core inspiration. You know what I mean? I think that's more or less where my friend that had told me about it. But yeah.
And that's part of what concerns me, because for these people who don't know who they are, their core motivations are based in all of the pursuits that we here at the station recognize as the various kinds of grievances. The person that, for instance, chases that academic title, when we know that academia is a big fraud, and they're chasing that title because they want to have a job that has more freedom than the next guy, because all jobs are forms of slavery, but if you get favor with academia, you get a form of slavery that has a better quality of life.
More perks.
Some jobs are beer enhancers. I've noticed when I come home from a hard day's work.
People say that Best Buy is one of the best jobs you can have. At least they used to say that, or whatever. Well, that just means that this slave master treats his plantation better than some other slave master treats their plantation. That's all that means. Because you're still working under the title of ownership. And the entire basis of your employment is based on the signature that is authorizing the name, which isn't yours to begin with.
It's your person.
No, it's their person.
No, that's true. It's their person. But if you're the creditor, it is yours, because they're creating the currency from your signature of that person.
I'm not the creditor then, because I'm swarming in debt. And I must have debt because the paycheck at the end of the month, they give me a debt note in exchange for it.
Right.
So have some debt.
So how do you pay a debt with a debt?
You earned 500 debt today. Have fun.
It's all word games. It's all confusion. It's all magic. It's all theater.
Exactly.
I don't know what's real anymore. We have CGI. We have green screens.
Exactly.
Jeez. I don't even know if nukes are real, to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
That could have been an entire falsehood also. So yeah, let's pass it on. I believe, Angela, you were up next.
Oh, well, I don't know if I'm up next, but I do know bug bites are real. Those things are real. I'll tell you what. I've been getting a few of them this summer, and some of them have just remained. I mean, it's amazing. And I got bit today 3 times. So, I know that's real. And also, but speaking on what you were just talking about, Rectify, about, what's real, what's not. Now, for instance, we have this, on the mountain here where I live, there's a little well that has a little spout that, it could be a geyser, it could be a well, I don't know. I don't travel up the rocks to see where it comes from exactly. But we were told, that it's some of the purest water around. But I think that was probably something that was more in existence like 10 years ago, because now, with all the air, particulate matter that is happening, that is sprinkling down upon everything.
Chemtrails?
Yeah, of course. And, that type of thing. Who knows how pure that water is now? So I went to go fill up a couple of, I was telling you about the plastic water bottle things earlier. So we went to go fill those up today with this water that comes from I think it's a little mini geyser type thing. I'm not really exactly sure. But we went to fill it up, and I know it's a good mineral water, but at the same time I have no idea of the quality of how pure it is. So, bam, it's not real anymore. Like, that pure water probably isn't real anymore. It's probably, the purity level isn't real, So, you could go ahead and speak about nukes and whether or not they're real, and that's that's a great point. But then also, we can go, just into our backyards and figure out what's real and what isn't these days. It's very interesting,
Because I associate nukes with Cold War, and that entire thing was a big drama scene to keep everybody on their tippy toes and stressed out, right?
Right.
Control of both nations, the USSR and the United States, just to keep everybody in check. But
we know there's radiation.
And there was economic problems once again. We in and out, the cyclical cycle of Ouroboros. I mean, it's nature. And you're right, the earth is being depleted, especially the topsoils. That's why our food is malnourished, and we don't get any trace minerals that we need. That's why supplements are important. And that's why, some people say that, I believe it's the Greek, he says that Americans have the most expensive piss in the world. Because we take so many supplements that, we piss most of them out, because you only absorb what you can, and sometimes you need certain combinations to even absorb certain vitamins. So, but yeah, it's hard to keep yourself healthy these days, and I think the earth just recycles herself every once in a while, and tills the soil. Volcanoes blow, waves come in, bring in silts. Sea life dies and becomes fertilizer, and everything starts again. I can't see it any other way. I really can't.
Well, I do agree. I think that in general, it's always recycling itself, the earth. I mean, just whether or not we, deplete it faster than it has the chance to recycle, or she, or Mother Earth, or whatever, itself, then, that's kind of, I think, when what Keith was talking about earlier was, when free, you actually brought it up, when free energy will be born is, kind of, at that time when you said it, what did you say? It was the Great Deception, or what did you call it?
The Grand Deception, when they bring in the Antichrist with all the miracles and all that. That's when that type of thing will be given to the people to help win over their faith. It's going to be the fake savior. You know what I mean? That's real.
Wow.
That's what I believe, though. But what's belief? Come on.
That's pretty interesting, though. All right, well, who else has, go ahead, pass that around.
I think Noreen and then Dory. Noreen, what's...
Noreen, go for it.
Left, I know you're probably pretty burnt out.
I had more thoughts that kind of have them still in my head. I concur with everything everybody has said. One of the things in my life that I'm observing, besides trying to survive financially, health-wise, as you were saying earlier, and so forth, is kind of like, and I think a lot of people on the station agree, feel the same, kind of like, how do you put together what you know spiritually, maybe intellectually, and align that with the physical body? Because it seems like, when you go out in the outer world, and I hate saying, the people who aren't aware, but maybe that's no other term, I'm not saying they're all physically intact, although they seem to be very attached, no offense to them, to the material plane, and therefore maybe that's why they shut out the information we speak of, because as Dory said, what would happen if everyone woke up at once? It would be like disaster. Maybe, maybe not, but I think there is something to that. There is a function as to why they're not. And that makes us think, well, we're not better than them, but at the same time, why? And it must be karma. I don't know. I just had a great Buddhist meeting, by the way, at my house yesterday. It was really awesome. We don't really talk about this.
What does that entail? Tell me about a Buddhist meeting.
Oh, you know what? We had it at my house. I haven't had one in a few years. And we chant Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, and we also just talk about philosophy. So it's not really about the stuff we talk on here so much, but it's just about philosophy, and it was really energizing and really good. Maybe I'll post a picture of it later. I have to download it. Anyway, so getting back to the material and the spiritual and all that converging, it's, that's really tricky, because you go out in society and you see some people, they seem like they're very adept at what they do, whether it be vocationally, relationship-wise, spiritually, academically, but I don't know. And then there's people on here, or in the alternative world, who have, don't worry, I'll keep it quick here. I know that we're running out of time. They have a certain, we have a certain outlook, and sometimes I think, well, we must have some kind of bizarre mission for this. Otherwise, why? Because most of us, I'm sure, on some level, we have struggled with this paradigm, contradiction, whatever, to bring us, to this point where we're trying so hard, to pull it all together. And yeah, sometimes I wonder what's the higher purpose of it? Why us? Why them? It's just very, I sometimes I wonder, not because I'm making comparisons literally. I know there's deeper reasons, but yeah, it is very weird or interesting as to why, how we put it all together and how we do it in the context of the bigger world, because that's what we're dealing with people and society and all that. But anyway.
Well, if no one rules, no one rules if no one obeys. Okay, I like that saying. No one rules if no one obeys. How about you, Dory? Do you believe in that?
I absolutely believe in that, yeah.
So
yes.
Tell them to F off. Big middle fingers in the air.
The doom and gloom has to come from your past. Has to do from past history. I don't believe in that. That's not where I come from. I don't understand that, and I don't want to go there because that's not me. But I see where other people are coming from. I'm awake. I'm like, no, you're not, actually, because you keep bringing the doom and gloom in. That's not what you are. You're a human. You're a spirit being that will never die, ever. Remember that. Never. You just go into another existence, another experience.
Yeah,
you're here to
that
experience.
Already.
Yeah, but you're in experience. You're in a skin suit. You're here to have an experience. And why 7 billion of us at this time on this planet? Let's think about this. Because we came here to change it. So maybe the ties and like the shackles are being lifted off of us. Could be. And you know what? I might want to see that. Who would have known? Maybe I said, yeah, I'll do it. Maybe I signed up for this. But, you can only go doom and gloom so far because I don't want to be afraid on a daily basis. I don't want to be scared anymore. I know what afraid is. I know what scarcity is. I know what materialism is, and I would having materialism or having it doesn't make a difference. I don't see anything bad with or without. Well, actually, without kind of sucks, actually. I should, state that.
I would also want to say that, it's just like, I don't think it's right, to really say it in the way of we don't die, because what we all know that we mean is that we do not ever cease to exist.
Okay, say it like you will.
We still die. There's still death.
Well, our human body actually dies. Yes, I understand that.
Unless you believe that we can give Dave Corso a physical phone call right now, or any of our other friends that we've lost this year, like
I'll make a comment on that if I could.
But we don't cease to exist. Dave Corso, as we know him, still exists.
Right, his body, physical. Yeah, 1 second, Keith. But his physical body died.
He dismissed from his physical body.
Right, correct.
It was time for him to move on to his next mission.
Right,
and
exactly.
Right now, the forces of evil are terrified because that was one bright soul who's moving on with glorious purpose.
He was a force of evil. You know how many innocent people he killed? He knew what he did. I've known Dave for over 6 years. He knew what he did. He was afraid to go to the light to see, or whatever you want to call that light. I don't even believe in that. But he knew exactly what he did. He knew when he signed up for this stuff when he was young. Have you ever talked to him? You ever been to his house?
Some of us have darker pasts than others.
Have you ever been to his house and talked to him actually though about what he did?
I've had personal conversations with him on Skype. I've not physically been there, but
I've physically been there. No, he was like a little kid with me.
I've still had good conversations with the man. And listen, he is not an evil person.
I didn't say he's an evil person. I said he did very bad things in the
Sure, and he felt guilty about it, and those kinds of things, they wear on a person's soul.
Absolutely, but he didn't know he wasn't aware of what he did.
Look,
there's a difference. Some of the stuff
and everybody's
he doesn't
got
remember.
the right to repentance. You
right,
can
but he doesn't remember what he did, so it's like, I'm not going to crucify him. I love Dave. I've known Dave for a long time.
He's resting now, so we should just, keep it in the light.
Exactly, but, I've known Dave for a very long time.
I know,
but I've seen his, hardship dealing with stuff like that. I've seen...
Dave's not resting either. Now that he's free of this mortal coil, who needs rest? We are energy beings. When you have energy, you don't want to go to bed. If you're up, you're up. It's like, man, I'm up. I want to do stuff. You got energy. You know, you know, that's not necessary anymore. That's
you died already? Oh, I'm sorry, did I miss something?
Dave passed away this weekend.
Did you?
Did I pass away?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, how do you know what he's going through?
Just the
You don't know what he's you don't know what he's going through, though.
What do you mean?
I think Keith wants to say something. Keith, hurry up, say it.
Look. I have intuitive abilities. You have intuitive abilities.
Actually, we got Eric and Samantha up next, and then Keith can take us out. Eric, Samantha, you still with us?
Hey, yeah.
Give us some wisdom and knowledge.
Well, my condolences to everybody. I knew who Dave was. This is the first I've heard of it, and I got really crazy goosebumps when Steve said that.
I wasn't going to tell him until we got home.
that was like news to me, and I just wanted to say thank you so much to Nighthawk and Liz for all their hospitality and for everybody on the station to keep up the awesome work, and we'll be listening and chiming in as much as we can, and helping out with donations and whatever else in these days.
And I'd like to say that I know for a fact that people have to go through their darkness and sort it out for themselves before they can even enter the light without fear. Because if you have fear of anything, then you fear fear itself, and therefore you can't grow, you can't evolve, you can't change your vibrations, or tap into the root of what your 1/10 of your ability could be, whether it's telepathic or moving things or so forth and so on. And so my thing is everybody has to go through that regression process to grow and plant themselves and blossom with Gaia and the help of many people within your aura and within yourself before they can show those teachings that they are here to do for others, because that is what we're here to do. We're here to teach the children, the next generation, the ways of living by the land and being one with everything and everyone. If you feel that you should be one with electronics, then that's your free will. Others should, be foragers or whatever. I feel that I should be one with Gaia and loving and nurturing and caring for, the younger generation that is coming forth, because they don't have enough of that. And I think that the actions that they're doing today is showing of the neglect of attention that they feel instead of the nurturing and caring of
society's
power.
made it too easy for us to judge the youth and just look down on them rather than bring them up and teach them the way. So
admire them. That's what we're here to do. We should help them,
right.
Bring them up and give them something to look forward to inspire them, whether it's artistically, garden, self-esteem within themselves, to know their heart, to feel their energy, to look at themselves and say, you know what, that scar on my face is beautiful, and I love it. It takes a lot.
Well,
Those autistic kids are so highly advanced, more than us. We could never understand where they came from. I deal with autistic kids on a daily basis. They're so intelligent. They're not from here. And we put that friggin' name on them constantly. We bring them down.
Hey, it sells pills.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to let
all the
Thomas
time. These are the special souls that are coming in. What do we do? Give them drugs, bring them down and give them a name. Yeah, that's not true. I deal with these autistic kids on a daily basis. They wink at me. They talk to me constantly. Normally, talk to me on a spiritual level. As soon as their father comes around, what's that? What's that? I'm like, it's fire hose. I go, you know what it is. And he says it every day. And for the last couple of years, it's the same thing every freaking day. I said, come here. And we talk. And he talks to me intelligently. And he knows he's lifting up the water, the energy, and what he does. But as soon as his dad comes around the corner, what's that? What's that? I'm like, oh, how funny that they change. They know exactly who they are. Don't underestimate these children. They're very powerful.
I think our daughter picks her name. I mean, she's adamant about her name. You can't call her anything else. And she's she's manipulative, but at the same time, she
knows what she wants.
Yeah, she knows what she wants.
3 is a perfect age. What you have to say to you?
Amazingly
go ahead.
Brilliant, and she just comes out of the woodwork with the most fantastic things that she does and says. It's absolutely mind-boggling, and I believe that she's an older soul than I am. So,
but you have to understand, these aren't old souls; these are new souls. That means they have no karma attached to them.
So.
Trust me. I'll give you an example. You try it out, and then you call me back. You say to her, "Who are you in another lifetime?" This sounds.
She has told us about past lives.
Yep,
she'll
tell you about her past lives, why she's here, and so on and so forth. Get her before she's 6.
She told us what color car twice this year. I mean, between last year and this year. Where we were going, what we were driving, and how early we were leaving. And she was 2, and now she's 3. So
I'd like to say something.
Let Tommy and Keith finish up. Sorry, you guys.
Yeah, time crunch. Sorry about that. Go ahead, Keith.
Go ahead, Thomas.
All right. I just want to say something real fast because when we say people becoming aware of soul dying or not dying, yes, people are aware that soul doesn't die. The problem, what dies, is awareness. Most souls, not every young star, blue star child being born, has the awareness of who, what, where they were. And 90% of the adults right now have no clue who they were in many of their lifetimes. And they'll have to reincarnate until they learn who and what they are. That's what soul's here for, not to enjoy the fun and the thrills that planet Earth gives them. Because once you let go of the physical body, it's incredible. There's nothing more beautiful, more intense, more anything. So when people say they...
Uh-huh.
Go ahead.
No, Keith. Yeah, no, I want to hear what Keith has to say.
Hey, I got you. Go, Keith.
Go.
Thomas, plug your show real quick, then we're going to give Keith the mic on the way out.
All right. Saturday, I'm doing a show on God and Gods, and I'm telling people I'm doing a workshop on how to understand that.
What time is that on and what station?
It's on Spiritual and Beyond, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
And that's
my show on
Radio.
And my show on Friday, I have a special guest coming on this Friday, an abductee, one of the most incredible abductee stories ever.
All right. Awesome.
Yeah, it's good.
Keith, go ahead.
Your turn.
Take us out.
Alrighty then. What I wanted to say goes back a little bit earlier to what we were talking about. And it's very easy to contact those that have passed on. I guarantee you, every single one of you, I know Doreen knows I'm right, and I'm pretty sure Thomas Hawksplug would agree.
We all do.
You can communicate with them, and there's a great deal of healing that can be done because you can say, "Oh, what was and get a little peace." Sometimes it's a little bit harder, while we walk through this world. Sometimes we need that space. Anyway, that's what I wanted to say.
Beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I appreciate everybody that's been on. Travis, Steve, Dory. Thomas, Hawksblood, Eric and Samantha, awesome testimony of the party there. And that's reality. Revolution Radio is a family. Don't ever forget that. You don't screw with family. This has been Rectify on the Gray Zone. Angela Black, my special guest. Hopefully she's back next week. We'll find out. Noreen, Help Hand, Wild at Heart, Roundtable, Keith. And everybody, peace out. Much love. Have a great week.
Love.
Thanks, Rectify. Let everyone
Listen to Revolution Radio at Freedom Slips